The annual Human Rights Watch report on the human rights situation in the world has been published. The report noted the existence of discrimination against Yazidi community of Armenia. The international organization Human Rights Watch in its report for 2022 once again noted the discriminatory situation of the Yazidi community of Armenia and the pressure on human rights defender Sashik Sultanian. The report notes that the authorities continued to make false accusations of incitement against Sashik Sultanian and to prosecute the chairman of the non-governmental Yazidi Center for Human Rights. The charges stem from Sultanian's public interview in which he claimed that Yazidi minority in Armenia is discriminated against. The report also notes that, in its concluding observations of November 2021, the UN Human Rights Committee, in particular, called on Armenia to amend legislation to ensure equality and non-discrimination on all grounds, including sexual orientation and gender identity, as well as to ensure access to effective and appropriate legal remedies for victims of discrimination. He also called on Armenia to criminalize hate speech and hate crimes on all prohibited grounds. The committee also recommended that the Domestic Violence Act be reviewed to ensure a victim-centered approach that guarantees access to immediate remedies. The committee also called for a prompt, impartial, thorough and effective investigation of all allegations of torture and ill treatment, for bringing perpetrators to justice and providing victims with full compensation. At the meeting of the EU-Armenia Partnership Council in May, it was confirmed that democracy, effective governance, the rule of law, the fight against corruption, human rights and gender equality remain the cornerstone of the Eastern Partnership policy. In April, the EU called on Armenia to make further progress towards greater media freedom. In its January resolution, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe called on Armenia, among other things, to adopt anti-discrimination legislation, adding sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression and gender characteristics to the prohibited grounds for discrimination. In May, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony J. Blinken and the Armenian Foreign Minister have launched a strategic dialogue between the USA and Armenia, which includes discussion of programs, among other things, to support human rights, media literacy, social protection and justice reforms.